Hey everybody, Will here with Intoxicating Ideas. Going back to, intoxicating idea number 4 here. I know I had a little jump in the last video, but that was important. Felt like I needed to say something on that one. This one is going to be another physical concept that I've created. I've got my baby Vasuki here with me, so it'll be Vasuki and me again today. Hope you've enjoyed her company. This next video is basically something that I created, or the idea behind this is something I created because I have recently been working in the warehouse industry. It's kind of how my mind works. Like, if a subject is presented to me or directly in contact with my life, my mind automatically just kind of like breaks that down and starts figuring out how to make an idea for it to make it better, or to take the current idea and enhance that, essentially. It's just how my mind operates. So this is just one of those concepts. I've been working in a warehouse, and after the first month of working at this warehouse, I was like, why isn't there something like this instead? So this is the, beta product of this. It was the first idea that I had, and I've got a little drawing of it. It's extremely crude, but I did it when I was baked out of my mind and half asleep, and I couldn't fall asleep, so I just rolled out of bed, sketched it out real quick, and that was the beta design. To be completely honest with you, I found a huge flaw in this design, which if you work in a warehouse, you might get it. Otherwise, it, might not be something that's that noticeable. But I created a secondary version that's, an enhanced 2.0 whatever, and I think with the right products behind it and support would do very well with the company, any company for that matter. So, that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get right into it. Pallets. Pallets have been extremely similar. Warehouse work in general, from what I've seen, like, it's 2020 and the warehouse I work in looks like everything could have been done 30 years ago and everything's the same. It's crazy. But pallets are still wooden constructions with nails. And there doesn't seem to be a mandatory regulation on how they're constructed, which blows my freaking mind. Because in the transportation industry, a pallet is a 4x4 block that can go upwards of 8 feet tall. So the fact that you could get a pallet that's like 3 feet 8 inches by 4 feet, or like almost 5 feet by 4 feet, like there's so much inconsistency behind it. Plus, broken wood, damaged wood, worn wood, nails sticking out. Right now, the company where I work, I can't tell you how many packages are destroyed just from trying to open the original casing of these packages that's shipped to us, because it's cardboard based, sitting on a pallet jack wrapped in saran wrap. It's super, super basic. And again, it's 2020. Like, how haven't we figured any of this out? So that's, kind of where my mind went with this one. It was like, all right, I know there's got to be better systems for pallets. I know there's got to be something beyond this. And we started getting these, we got these carts too that are closed. They're steel based and have very crappy plastic. And they really just don't work that well either. So what I decided to create was essentially a pallet that can also transform into what we call at work gaylords, which are basically big effing boxes that hold loose packages, boxes, whatever it is. So in a warehouse industry, like, we will get a pallet that is a giant cardboard, like 8 feet tall, well, 6 to 8 feet tall cardboard box, rectangle, and extends up from the bottom of the pallet, and you just have a bunch of envelopes, boxes, whatever it is, stuffed inside. Now, in order to get to those products, you literally have to take a blade and cut into it. So when that happens, guess what? You're cutting into some of the product inside as well. So when your product gets delayed, there's this very small chance, and I mean very small, but there is that small chance that your product got delayed because somebody was cutting into a box and damaged your packaging in the process, to the point where it had to be repackaged, sent back out to the next day or something. It's, like I said, super, super rare that it's that bad, but it just happens. From an employment standpoint, there's a lot of time wasted in blades cutting packages, material being cut in order to cut into these gaylords, and also the packages themselves having to be replaced, taped up, whatever. So it's extremely inefficient, and that drives me bananas. So what I thought of was essentially a pallet that can not only hold regular material if need be, certain things saran wrap is pretty sufficient, but could also expand up to hold any small pieces that may be there. So here is the extremely crude drawing that I developed when I was, half asleep, baked out of my mind, but could not fall asleep because this creation was in my head, and if I didn't get it on paper, it was going to drive me nuts. So here it is. All right, now, what you're looking at is a pallet at the bottom. Here's the slots for the pallet jack to go in. And, ideally could put 2 on this side too, so it's, either way. But within this pallet, which would be made out of my ideal preference would be hemp. Natural, strong material, it's just freaking perfect. But this would be a strong plastic casing. This in the center is a telescopic pole that stands in the center and allows everything to collapse down. So this would be the top of the actual pallet. And if you needed to use it to store however many packages, can simply unlatch here at the bottom, pull this up, attach it at the top, let it lock in place, and then if you look, I drew little lines to pretty much represent a netting system. Something that would also be encased down here in the bottom. This would all be an open, storage area essentially, where you could store the netting. If you needed to, you telescope that up, boom, lock it into place, pull these nettings up, lock those into place, and now you can, almost lost it. Now you can just fill all your packaging in here. This ideally would have almost door-ish style that could lock into place, close up at the top, and then that would allow you to, once the product arrives, You clip the top part, pull it down, start pulling out the packages. So, not only would this eliminate a lot of unnecessary wood being used, it would safety issue, like there's lots of wood that gets knocked around, random nails sticking out. Plus, they're reusable. So once you're done with it, instead of having to go buy a new pallet, you collapse this. If you've got a center where you're receiving generally all your items, send it on that truck back to that receiving storage facility, and now it just comes back to you. There is a big flaw to this where I honestly think anybody in the warehouse industry will see that. I did create a secondary line to this, or second product that circumnavigates that big flaw. But, I'm not here to give away the whole farm. These are just some of my ideas, trying to kind of get my ideas out there in a sense and maybe get some recognition from it. But made out of hemp, like I've seen other industries that have, plastic style pallets, which are fine, but this is just a more multi-functional type of pallet that could be used. And again, not only could you telescope it out to handle small packages, you could just leave it as is and stack a bunch of big stuff on top of it if need be, and then you do the regular saran wrap style. But they can be transported back and forth, no waste of nails, wood, anything like that. So, yeah, like I said, just another idea I had after working a month in the warehouse industry. I had never done that, and it's kind of just how my mind operated. I've got ideas on the conveyor belts too, because the conveyor belt hasn't been changed in basically a century either, like brake lights. So, hope you like this one. I'll put together another physical product for the next one and most likely go existential on video number 6. So, again, hope you liked it, and everybody have a great day, all right?